says you need to buy a guitar.
Like a piece of sculpture, under the smell of wood varnish, the whole aroma of it. I'm like a woman, you know? You could caress it like a woman.
Every element, the wood, the finish, and all the different aspects are there in the sound.
Electric conveys like amplification, energy.
It's all part and parcel of what I am, is playing the electric guitar and bonding with it. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting because both are really, really strong character guitarists.
Both White Stripes and Zeppelin were able to do something that was their own, was unique, and had never been done before.
When three of us get together, what's gonna happen? Probably a fist fight.
There's a lot of soul in this guitar. When Jack plays it, it just goes wild. This is Edge's main enchilada. This is the brain of the system.
It's going to be interesting to see him layering his effects. He's known to be a sort of sonic architect.
I plan to trick both of these guys. That's basically what I'm gonna do. Trick them into teaching me all their tricks.
We're going there to have a chat, but it just so happens that the instruments are sort of there as well, so who knows?
It's a form of yoga. It's actually was devised in Wales. It's called dabochi.
What's it like for you to do with it?
It's just a little adaptation I've made just to make better use of time.
Does Sting do this?
He doesn't do dabochi. He does some other kind of yoga.
I'm very interested in what hardware can do to an electric guitar sound. I love effects units. They've always pushed music forward.
When he pushes a button, let's say that button addresses that unit, you know, this button addresses that unit, and it's very rarely that he will use the same sound ever again in 23 songs. The guitars are set per song with their output levels. They're dedicated for that song, and that guitar level is, he sets his effects to receive that guitar level in a particular way.
I drive everyone crazy. I drive myself totally crazy trying to get the sound that I can hear in my head to come out of the speakers. It's my voice. That is my voice, what's coming out of the speaker. Maybe with you. Take out the TC.
Technology is a big destroyer of emotion and truth. Opportunity doesn't do anything for creativity. Yeah, it makes it easier and you can get home sooner, but it doesn't make you a more creative person. And I don't worry, Lord, I'm sitting on top of the world. That's the disease you have to fight in any creative field. Ease of use. Teenage years, like late 80s and things like that. I don't remember that many rock and roll bands being around that were that popular. Things were changing so much in music that technology was taking over so much. Technology was heavily distracting everybody. I mean, people started spending weeks trying to get the perfect snare drum with gated reverb sound. Because I'm devil. That's right. That's right. So processed, it wasn't real at all anymore.
Because of the amplification and the tactile quality of it, you can hear the very sort of characteristics of each player. People have just tried to stretch the limits, come up with new techniques. So there's always something new that other people are bringing to the table that is to be reckoned with very seriously. Dynamics, lightly shade, whisper to the thunder, sort of invite you in, sort of intoxicating. that fascinates me about it, and always has about the Six Strings. Everyone has their own approach. They all play in a different way, and you know, their personality comes through. You know.
During my time as a songwriter and performer, I've kind of watched and felt that I was seeing the end of the guitar as a kind of focus for popular music. And yet every time I think it's kind of counted out, it flares up somewhere else.
I keep it guitars that are, you know, the neck's a little bit bent and it's a little bit out of tune, and I want to work and battle it and conquer it and make it express whatever attitude I have at that moment. I want it to be a struggle.
I don't know, I have no idea what these are, but... My early demos were real sketches. They weren't fully fleshed out. That's interesting. That ended up. It's the music that tells us the direction the song should go. As writers, we start with the feeling, and everything follows from that. These guitar parts ended up in the final version, so this could be discovering, you know, those particular voicings of the chords and what have you. Donna's actually calling out the timing. That's funny. 4, 5, 6. Because the first section's in a different time signature, so a little bit of a head trip to go between the two. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can count it in different ways. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or you can go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's like a waltz beat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Start to invoke locations. As I'm working, I'm often thinking about where is this location? Wow, there was a whole science block there when I was here. It's amazing. We played on a kind of flat area over there with, I wouldn't say a paying audience. We all got up here. Larry was back here, obviously, and I think I was on this side.
You were there?
Yeah, I was this side, yeah. Actually, and have been ever since. This was where we used to rehearse. Yeah, this is really the very, very beginning for us here, so... This was Mr. Mackenzie's room, and he was very nice to us. So rehearsal was 10 minutes of clearing away desks and chairs, and then an hour of seeing if we could get anything together. None of us could play at this point, really. For a while, we would come and we would try and go through songs, and it was really bad, like really, really bad. The thrill was just being able to do it, even if you did it badly.
Always worried about being satisfied. When you become satisfied, it's sort of like you just die. My name is Jack White, and this is my big sister Meg White on the drums. Thank you for letting us into your home. We really appreciate it. What can I do with 3 strings on a guitar instead of 6? It takes me 3 steps to get over to play the organ in the middle of this song. Put it 4 steps away. Then I'll have to run faster and I'll push myself harder to get to it. Meg and I don't even talk about what the first song's gonna be. We just go out and play. Think of something fast. Hurry up and think of something because these guys want a show. People know when something's fake and they know when something's rehashed and rehearsed. They know when you're telling the same joke between songs that you told in Poughkeepsie last night. They can smell it. I play really old guitars, plastic guitars.
And I sound silly. Yeah, for me to think
you want it easy, you buy a brand new Les Paul or a brand new Stratocaster.
Now we're gonna do what I please. Let's get married. And a big concrete on my praise.
And this is my main guitar that I played live for like 10 years in the White Stripes. It's a hollow piece of plastic, and you got this at Montgomery Ward's department store. Sears sold Silvertones, and Montgomery Ward sold Airlines. I want to show you, Jack, what the... If you just take this and... That's it. Pick a fight with it. That's what you gotta do. Pick a fight with it and win the fight. He's learning.
I'd like to introduce Led Zeppelin to you. On bass guitar, John Paul Jones. John Paul Jones. On drums, John Bonham. Lead guitar, Jimmy Page. And myself, Robert Plant.
We were so comfortable playing with each other that we could take it in any direction. Four members of the band that take on a sort of fifth element. Passion, honesty and competence. An absolute musical heaven.
How many more times? Treat me the way that you wanna do. How many more times?
some memories. Yeah, this is, well, it comes straight into the entrance hall, and this is the hall where the drums were set up and where Levy Breaks was recorded. We had been recording in this room here. Bonzo had ordered a new drum kit. His tech, you know, his road manager, had set it up in the hall. And when Bonzo came out, he started playing it in this thing, and it was this huge expanse. You're getting the drums reflecting off of the walls. You know, this wonderful ambience to the drums. Yeah, you can hear the reflected surfaces. You know, it's really live and ambient. We had a recording truck parked on the outside here, and you'd be running the wires from their cables with the mic leads, running them into the house. The mics were put up here over the banisters here. In those days, the drummer would be in a little booth, so the drums were just totally, you know, crushed. This was quite radical. After this, you heard of other, you know, drummers and bands looking for lift shafts and things to record in to get the height, you see. We'd done 3 albums that were recorded in the studio, and this was another approach. As a kid, what was going on in the music was as important to me as what was going on vocally and lyrically. And it always was. Just word of mouth and grapevines. Isolation. We moved house, and the guitar was there, left behind. It was one of these sort of weird interventions of a guitar into our family. It was just like a sort of ornament left behind at the house. For anyone who could play guitars, they all played skiffle. That was a sort of community project at the time. Played en masse with guitars and washboards. Local cuisine. Very, very English. Pre-rock, this is. We were weaned on that music. There was like a sort of rock and roll breastfeeding of it. I went to school one day after hearing this stuff and seeing Lonnie Donegan on the television, and this guy actually had a guitar and he was playing Rock Island Line. It was like, wow. And I said, I've got one of those at home, and he said, bring it along and I'll show you how to tune it. But that was more accessible to be able to start to play.
You could put a band together pretty easily.
I mean, you could, learn one chord and just strum it all day and be having a great time, you know.
Well, Mama don't allow no skiffle down in here. Oh, no, she don't. Mama don't allow no skiffle down in here. Well, we don't care what Mama don't allow. Gonna play that skiffle anyhow. Mama don't allow no skiffle down in here.
We were a little local band who were playing around school dances, and not even the slightest, mildest consideration that would go into something. There wasn't this driving thing that the minute you hit your teens, you've got to be famous.
What are your 2 names? Yours is?
James Page and
David Houston. And you're just learning to play the guitar?
Yes,
from a teacher. Do you play anything except skiffle?
Yes, Spanish and dance.
Do you as well? Can you move on? What are you going to do when you leave school? Take up skiffle?
No, I want to do, biological research.
Dublin in the mid-70s was really economically very challenged. The economy was in the toilet. We just didn't believe that anything could change. There has to be more than this. This is not the only thing that is on offer here.
You want to figure out how you want to play guitar, what your niche will be. You just start digging deeper. When you're digging deeper in rock and roll, you're on a freight train headed straight for the blues.
Well, they'll come to your house and it won't stay long. You look in the bed, you find your mother gone. That don't have no mercy in this land.
1930s, really scary version of the blues. If you go back and listen to some of these songs, I mean, you can't really believe that they were even recorded to wax. Robert Johnson, Dark Was a Night by Blind Willie Johnson. I Asked Her for Water, She Gave Me Gasoline. Minor key, anti the establishment, questioning themselves. Painful. There's a tension in that music that you can feel. It just feels like there's this place where, you know, my soul rests, and those guys were expressing it. The Bible, God cursed the ground so that the man will always have to work hard. Whether you're a farmer or a carpenter or a guitar player or whatever it is, you have to fight these man-made materials.
"15-minute guitar solos, 15-minute organ solos or the drum solos. There was a huge element of self-indulgence. Professional rock musicians who looked down upon their fans. Those old colours were dead, and we wanted none of it. Spinal Tap. That's a movie that I watched.
I didn't laugh, I wept. It was so close to the truth. Music really was searching at that moment.
I'd listen to anything with the guitar on when I was a kid, you know, that was being played, and all those different approaches and the echoes. But the first time I heard the rumble, it was like, that was something that had so much profound attitude to it.
It really does.
It really does. he's starting to increase a vibrato on his amplifier. You hear blah, 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 blah. It gets more intense. Most of my day was spent going through these records, listening to sounds, or playing guitar with the sounds. I was pulled in through those speakers. This wonderful guitar playing. Got to get to grips with that. Just two people, bass.
Well, I'm going wet.
Get home, see if you can play it.
Won't be back no more. Well, honey, ain't no way to work for me, Miss Charlotte. And I'll just...
All these old friends that I used to visit on a daily, almost hourly, almost per minute basis.
Okay. Might get loud for a second.
As kids, we were so experimental with whatever was around. Taking stuff apart. We were always tinkering, always messing around. We built a guitar when my brother was 16, I was 14. Literally hand wound the magnets to make the pickups. Every little component. Got wood from Barry O'Connell's parents' place. Hand carved the neck, hand carved the body, sawed the grooves, put the fret wire in. Every aspect. And put it together. I mean, it wasn't the best guitar that's ever been made, but it functioned.
Never wanted to play guitar, ever. Everyone plays guitar. What's the point? I'm the youngest of 10 kids, and there was just stuff around. Microscope, a power tool. When you're a family of 10 kids, I mean, it's just a given. You're going to be sharing all day long. Hand-me-down clothes, hand-me-down toys, different interests, and everyone's in and out all the time. Some people are walking to work, some people are taking the bus. Competition, fighting for food. You push each other over. You muscle your way into situations. My brothers, well, a bunch of them were musicians. Bass, keyboards, played guitar. I got really into drumming, playing along with the records. Those rhythms got into me early. 100% only caring about music and rhythm. I had a bedroom that was about 7 by 7 feet, really small. There was so much junk I had collected. I had 2 drum sets in there, a guitar amplifier and the reel-to-reel, and no bed. I took the bed out. I slept on a piece of foam on an angle by the door.
The thing that we started out with is a clear idea of what we did not want to sound like.
Time to bop with the best in rock and pop on this week's Top of the Pops.
Top of the Pops was this long-standing pop
TV show. Most of it was pretty anemic. If 1 out of the 10 items on the show was cool, you were lucky.
Oh, no, you don't.
That was the only live music that we could get to see.
Making their debut on this week's Top of the Pops, here's the Jam and an effervescent U-45. 1, 2, 3, 4!
Everything that you wanna do, any place that you wanna go, you need permission for everything that you want.
It was like somebody just lit the touch paper on this bomb. So unexpected. I'd never seen anything like it. The hope for a new beginning. I was like a switch went on.
If we believed fully in what we were about, that actually was far more important than how well you could play. Our limitations as musicians were ultimately not going to be a problem. I was like, I can do that. Total commitment, getting across what you wanted to say in as straightforward a way as possible. I started inventing chords to get that sound, that kind of ringing sound. Most people play E like this, full of a sort of rich, complex tone, which is a combination of all the major elements of a chord. I wanted to simplify it and make it more pure, and so I found ways of playing those chords where I'd eliminate certain notes. So there's a more clear sound. You probably hear it more as opposed to... Really paring it down to the absolute bare minimum. When it's so simple, you can turn it up really loud and it's got more aggression.
Is it what's in C?
No, actually, what I meant...
Yeah. Sure about that, see? Okay.
That sounds good in there, doesn't it?
Sounds great, though. It's roaring, yeah.
Punk rock is... There's a bit of the punk rock in this
I think there's some punk left in there.
Distortion, anger, the punk ideal. Guys or something maybe who got picked on like a lot of us did in high school. This is our chance to push you down now. Southwest Detroit, a tough town. It puts up with a lot and keeps going. There was very few white families left in the 80s. My family had a stiff upper lip, and we're not leaving. We're not running away like everybody else. I lived in an all-Mexican neighborhood. A Mexican town, it's called. It was uncool to play guitar. To play an instrument was the most embarrassing thing you could probably make up. Hip-hop and house music, that's what everyone wanted to hear. DJs and rappers. It was very uncool to actually play an instrument. There was no record store, no guitar shop. Nobody liked rock and roll or blues music.
Oh, shucks, hush your mouth. Baby, how knocking me out. I said, shucks, hush your mouth. Oh, baby, how knocking me out.
By the time I'm 15, I'm playing more and I'm pretty reasonably accomplished.
It's all about.
Pop music was rubbish, so we weren't going to be playing that. Playing blues music, music of the chess catalogue, not going with the flow. Playing in winter gigs, coming out hot, getting on in the back of the van. There's not proper heating in the van. I thought, this is getting really tiresome. Sleeping on the equipment in the back of the van, driving to the next gig. Getting ill, heavy bouts of influenza, and I just thought it's like beating your head against a wall here. And I figured that it was the best thing to do at that point was actually retire. So I went to art college. Just as much as I wanted to play guitar, I also wanted to be an artist. It had always been something in me. I wanted to know the techniques of oil painting, life drawing, graphic design, sculpture, and techniques used by the old masters.
I apprenticed out to a lot of people when I was younger.
I was an apprentice in an upholstery shop when I was a teenager. Brian Muldoon was the master of the upholstery shop, and he was the one teaching me, and he played drums. Well, I guess I'll play guitar then. So when we were done with our work day, we moved the couches over and set up and play in the shop. Surf and rockabilly. Dick Dale, and trying to absorb everything. He'd pick me up from school, I'd start tearing down furniture, or ripping off fabric and cotton off old chairs, gluing fabric to foam on the weird curves, tearing off all the old fabric. You can imagine all the stuff that's inside of a couch. M&M cereal and the baby's toys. Oh, here's how you sew a welt cord. Oh, here's how you sew a fly strip on the back of a decking. He exposed me to punk music, the Velvet Underground, the Cramps. Really took me under his wing to be an employee and to play music together. Then I started writing songs. Kind of became a band. We got to put out a record and we called it The Upholsterers.
So this song is Froggy Went A-Courtin', you know, the folk song Froggy Went A-Courtin'.
Mm-hmm.
But I never heard it like this before. I was with the drummer the first time. And this right here blew my mind here.
The Flat Duo Jets, two-piece band from North Carolina. Guitar, drums, and vocals, just like me and Meg. I went and saw him play, and I was blown away. There was nothing on stage. There was nothing there. Just a little 10-watt amp and silver-tone guitar. Headed in what I would have thought at the time backwards direction. I had to reassess what backwards meant in my mind. That opened up a whole new inspiration for me about the guitar. I started to leave drums alone a little bit. The first guitar I ever bought, this was, brand new when I bought it. It's just been with me ever since. And when we recorded our first album with Steve Lillywhite, we were in the studio in Dublin, and we did the backing tracks, and he said, let's do some overdubs with a different guitar. I said, what do you mean? We only have one guitar. This is the only guitar we own in the band. I was 17, I think, the summer of 78. My family actually were in New York. It was like walking into a movie for me. I mean, I remember not only did they speak like they did in the movies, but the cars looked like they did in the movies. That's actually how people spoke. That's actually what the place looked like. It's a burden when you have a truck or a van because everybody you know wants you to move their stuff for them, So every time you get a phone call, you're like, yeah, I'll come help you move your stove or your safe. I helped my brother move a refrigerator. Him and his wife started managing St. Vincent de Paul store. It's like a Salvation Army kind of store in Detroit. So I helped him move a refrigerator there.
Sunburst, tobacco sunburst. My first electric, just tremendous. Just couldn't believe it when I actually got it home. It was in the house. Fantastic. This was the one. This is the one that I was after.
I went around to the stores on the street and found Davis set guitars. Guitars everywhere, people everywhere. This instrument was just there, calling out to me. This Explorer.
I was really starting to go on my way then. My technique started to improve. Became like a total addiction, to the point where actually I was now starting to take it to school, and I'd be practicing during the recess breaks. And then it got to the point where the guitar was confiscated. They thought it was going to be counterculture or something. It wasn't doing any harm to anybody. Not then, it wasn't.
So when I helped him move the refrigerator, he said, well, how about taking this guitar for payment? Thanks for helping us, And I loved it so much, couldn't believe it.
I was like, whoa, man, that was worth it.
Plugged it into an amp in the room and just could tell this was the kind of guitar that had possibilities. There were songs in this guitar. 20 minutes in this store just to find the sound of the band. This better work out.
ideas about modifying and kind of designing my own guitar. I like the body shape of this one. I was trying to customize one of these Gretsch guitars for the Raconteurs. When people take a guitar that's known for a certain sound and throw it into a whole different context, something interesting happens.
Knowing that there was a threshold of volume, I wanted to get more sustain out of things. I bumped into this chap, Roger Mayer, and all he told me was that he worked at the Admiralty. Did I have any ideas? This record at home of a guitar that had a lot of sustain on it, and I got him to come round and have a listen to it. I said, "Can you get that?" And he went away and came back with this phenomenal thing, distortion pedal, which overloads the signal, overdrive the sound, and make it sound pretty rude.
This is what I'm actually playing. That's it. The rest is the foot pedal, the effects, the whole thing. You know, so if you're on acoustic guitar and say, "Here's my new riff. It's a really cool riff. Listen."
Oh, my Lord. Wow. That's impressive. That's great. It was a single cutaway, and I had this brilliant luthier in Seattle, Randy Parsons. He made it a double cutaway for me. And then I said, "Well, listen, I have an idea. Can you put a green bullet harmonica mic on the guitar so I can just take it out and right there?"
I got this echo unit and I brought it back to rehearsal. I just got totally into playing, but listening to the return echo. Filling in notes that I'm not playing. Like two guitar players rather than one. The exact same thing, but it's just a little bit off to one side. I could see ways to use it that had never been used. Suddenly, everything changed. So, Jimmy, what you know those early songs that you played on in the studio? What did you actually play on? I mean, that I would have heard, like, there's all these legends.
Sometimes you could hear what I did, and other times you couldn't hear what I did. But I mean, I was on Goldfinger. That was fantastic. Yeah, she did one take and collapsed at the end of it. But you know, it's huge, like huge, big orchestra in the EMI #1, which was a massive, great studio. You know, they did a lot of the film stuff in there.
And like the Kink stuff.
I did some Kink stuff.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't I mean, you know, it all got out of hand, you know, about what I had done and what I hadn't
really?
done.
It became like the stuff of legend.
You know, before you knew what it was, you'd done everything.
Open the door and let me in. It's me.
I was filling in an interval band at a club called the Marquee Club, playing on Thursday evening.
No one to see us, no one else around.
And somebody asked me, so would you like to play on a record? The record just bubbled in on the lower end of the top 20. Then it moved so quickly. The invitations to do more records were so frequent after that. An apprenticeship, going into recording studios. Can you put a riff to this? A song with all its parts, the verses, the choruses, the middle eights. Feel free to add like detail on it. The musical notation. You needed to be right on top of it. I could put on all these different hats. Film music or a jingle. Well done, Jimmy, that's great.
Don't you mind people grinning in your face? Don't mind people grinning in your face. Yeah, just bear this in mind, a true friend is hard to find. Don't you mind people grinning in your face? You know,
By the time I was about 18, somebody played me Son House. That was it for me.
Yes, don't care how you're trying to live, they'll talk about you still. Yes,
This spoke to me in 1,000 different ways. I didn't know that you could do that, just singing and clapping. And it meant everything. It meant everything about rock and roll, everything about expression, creativity, and art. One man against the world in one song.
Just bear this in mind, a true friend is hard to find. Don't you mind people grinning in your face?
That's my favorite song. Still is. It became my favorite song the first time I heard it, and still is. I heard everything disappearing. It didn't matter that he was clapping off time. It didn't matter that there was no instruments being played. All that mattered was the attitude of the song. Jumping off into the unknown. Hope and have faith that the next chord or the next few notes will come to you. On occasions you get nothing, and you come out feeling like a complete idiot, and that you don't know anything, and you can't play guitar, and you can't write songs. There's this little house on the coast of an area outside Dublin called Howth.
Won't you come back tomorrow? Won't you come back tomorrow?
We decided that this is where we would rehearse leading up to the recording of the War album.
Outside, somebody's outside, somebody's knocking.
There have been bombs here before, but nothing of the scale of yesterday's. And as the full implications of the number of dead and injured and the destruction to property became apparent, it's also clear that the South now has a serious security problem of its own.
Bombs going off on a weekly basis. So many lives destroyed, perverted, distorted idea of freedom. No life was sacred.
The crunch came. This one day I went into this session, I saw this big ream of paper in front of me. I started to get very uncomfortable. There was no run through, they counted it in, and off you went. It literally was music. I'm not actually creating anything, I'm interpreting whatever it is that's written down now, and I'm even doing music sessions. Tearing my hair out. And I've got to get out of it.
I thought about it for a long time, for days. There's this whole new world that's just opened up in front of me, and I have to figure out, how do I get there? Am I not allowed to get there?
Bono put it to me, he said, you know, Edge, I think maybe if you would do a bit of time on your own, I remember feeling, well, can I write? Am I a writer, or am I just a guitarist?
This is it. This is the day of departure. I wanted to get out there, and I had a lot that I really wanted to do. The minute that I was in the Yardbirds, that bow was out immediately. I shed this coat off of me, and then I wanted to try everything that's breaking rules. I wanted to do things that sped up. I wanted to do things that were like playing the bow and hurting people's ears.
I started to look for ways to get away with it and not be some sort of white boy blues band. We went and played an open mic night. We were kind of in our own little world. Meg didn't really want to do it. I was pushing her. If we put her behind the drums, and maybe something interesting will happen. She's played like a little caveman and a little child. We started to form everything around Meg. We saw a bag of peppermint candies. I said, well, that should be on your bass drum, Meg. We should paint that on your bass drum. By this time, I found a red guitar. This red guitar and the peppermint candy has dictated the aesthetic of the band. White Stripes became the big way to get away with it by having a brother and sister band that was, red, white, and black was all the complete
Aesthetic, and it was childish, and we're presenting ourselves in a real childish manner, almost like cartoon characters, and a lot of distractions to keep people away from what was really going on, which was we were just really trying to play this, still are.
Dead leaves on the dirty ground when I know you're not around. tops and started box. When I hear your lips make a sound. When I hear your lips make a sound. Got a notes in the mailbox. Well, tell you that I'm coming home. But I think I'm gonna stick around for a while so you're not alone. For a while so you're not alone.
I would just go to D with it sort of in a blues way, and I was just singing a Sunhouse lyric.
Didn't feel so bad till the sun went down. Then we go to D then. Didn't have no one to wrap my arms around. Wrap my arms around.
Floating around blues structures.
Did the press understand what you were doing?
No, I don't think they did. I didn't think they had a clue what we were doing, as each album changed in its sort of concept and variety. The reviews were terrible. They didn't understand what we were doing. They gave the fourth album a one-paragraph review. Now, there's a lot of material on that. Black Dog, there's Levy Breaks, there's Stairway to Heaven. One paragraph. They didn't have a clue what was going on. I just didn't even bother to read music papers after that.
This car bomb has gone off. This bar has been raked with machine gun fire. Total disregard for human life. We're not buying into this. I just remember being in a rage. When you go past a managed forest, you see a mass of tree trunks. Then at a certain point, you look again and you realize they're all in perfect rows. Clarity. Clarity of vision. What you've been looking at from the wrong angle and not seeing at all. You labor, you sweat to see what you couldn't have seen from that other perspective. I just remember just scrambling to try and put it down before that moment passes and fades. And picking up the guitar, and that's what I came out with.
Broken bottles on the children's feet, bodies strewn across the dead-end street. I won't heed the battle call. Puts my back up against the wall. Someday, bloody someday. Someday, bloody someday. Sunday, bloody Sunday.
You know, I come in here and sometimes it's just not a great day, but there's always going to be something if you just keep going.
If you don't have a struggle already inside of you or around you, you have to make one up. These little things during the day. Extreme feelings. It's something that made you angry or something that made you upset or jealous.
Of Stairway to Heaven before you got here. But what is your
Yes,
what is your process when you write a song?
I can't tell you what the process is. It changes from one thing to another, but it usually comes just for anybody who's writing, or whether they're writing written word or music or whatever. It just comes from the creative spark, really. It's all very spontaneous, but you see, the whole reason for being here was for that. The double neck came as a result of Stairway. Stairway was done on the acoustic with all these electric and 12-string parts and all that built it up. I thought to myself, how am I going to do this on stage? So it became a necessity relative to the song, if you like, because then you could do the 6-string part, the acoustic part, electric, of course, but the solo on this and do the rest of it on the 12.
There's a lady all that glitters is gold, and she's buying the stairway to heaven.
Being a studio musician, you certainly don't speed up. One of the things that I really wanted to do straight away was crescendo and speed.
And it makes me wonder,
I like this idea of movement.
if there's a bus in your hedgerow, don't be alone there. It's just a sprinkling for the baby queen.
Holes pushed, rise and fall in its intensity and its power. Light and shade. Wouldn't I want to be employing that? That was something that was going to keep increasing, building. accelerated from the beginning to the very end, like an orgasm. Every night that we went on stage, it was living, totally living at every point. The spark had become the flame, and the flame was burning really bright.
That's it. Spend my days with a woman unkind, smoke my stuff and drink all my life. Made up my mind to make a new start, going to California with an aching in my heart.
There's a total concentration on music and creativity and writing. Pushing the boundaries, looking over the horizon. Musicians that were absolutely on top of their game.
You're supposed to join the family. You're supposed to become part of it. That family of storytellers.
It is the springtime of my love. The second season I
When it goes down, that break bit, it's G, D, C, C, G.
Okay, yeah. G, B minor?
G, D, C.
Oh, right here, I see that, okay.
The biggest thrill is creating something that has the power to really connect with people. That's why I took up the guitar in the first place.
Not here for the vocal. Take from me if I do low. Right? Take a load off Annie. All that. Take a load off Annie. I can do the high. And put the load on me.
I can't sing. I'm
really high.
Yeah. Whether I took it on or it took me on, I don't know. The jury's out on that. But I don't care. I've just really, really enjoyed it. That's it.
I just noticed I've been playing the wrong second chord in the verse.
Have you?
It's a B minor, actually, not an E
Is
minor.
it? Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah, that's better.
For me, it was a much bigger work. I had a voracious appetite for everything, all of it.
Music keeps progressing and moving on, and people come up with new ideas and new tricks and new ways to tell the same story in a different way. I'm bringing back those that are no longer there. I'm getting hard on myself, sitting in my easy chair. We're all doing the same thing, attempting to share something with another human being. Well, there's three people in the mirror, and I'm wondering which one of them I should choose. But I can't keep from laughing, spitting out these 300 mile per hour alcohol blues.
In essence, we are effectively the same band. We're a little bit more complex, but we're really still the band that's crowded into the small little rooms, trying to play with each other and find those clues that will take us somewhere new. Now, exactly where this note was, I have no memory, but this is where it was put.
You're the last thing, you're the warning. You've been trying to throw your arms around the world.
I loved this whole idea of getting a band together. So I was definitely going to do something. But if Larry had not put the message up, I would have been in some other band. I don't know. It wouldn't have been U2. God knows who it would have been. And if would I have be doing what I am now? Probably not. I mean, I could be doing anything. I'd be, I don't know, working in a bank somewhere or something.
The day when you pick up a guitar, there's nothing coming through whatsoever. There's no new pieces, no ideas. And that's the sort of gift that any creative person has. There's always that point that might happen to you. Or you're too old to be able to pick the guitar up. And we're just trying to keep that day far, far away and out of sight.
Hey, mister, can shook my hand, was all he said. Take a load off Fanny, take a load for free, take a load off Fanny, and you put the load on me.
This one's called Claudette. After the actress Claudette Colbert, my tattoo artist did all this for me. So he's really good at doing this on people, so we figured he'd be doing it with the... I bought him wood burning tools, he could burn her face inside of it. Made the pick guard so it looks like a brunette.
When I saw him coming and the devil, they were walking side by side. I said, hey, Carmen, come on and let's go downtown. She said, I gotta go now. Well, my friend, she can stick around for you. Yeah, take a load off Fanny, take a load for free.
And you come out, bring your hip out here all the time.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's my thing. You know, I like to get out here in the elements and rock out. Yeah, with the islands. The islands I always find very inspiring for those long echo, delayed sounds. You know. It's an actual theremin.
It hasn't got 6 strings, but it's a lot of fun.
Take a load for free, take a load off Fanny, and well, yeah, you put the load right on me. Go down, Miss Moses, there's nothing you can say.
I noticed you have a picture of the Fab Four. It's actually not so much a reverence for the Beatles. It's a kind of haircut reference for the crew.
About your enemy, he said, do me a favor, son, won't you stay and keep Bentley company? Take a load off Bentley, take a load for free, take a load off.
I just had an accident with a suit and a cell phone. He's probably right in the middle of saying the words totally organic.
Crazy Chester found me, and he caught me in the fall.
Look at that, somebody's put the lyrics to Glad to See You Go on their locker. What a coincidence. Okay. We used to play this song.
You know I'm a peaceful man.